Hello friends, Joe here once again, and against my better judgment it is almost 4 AM and I'm still awake, so I'm just going to record this as the banner changes. It's Lagfest, end of the month, so that means some new summer characters. I've not had a chance to read all this event yet, so I don't know if they tease anyone in particular, but Fediel in a swimsuit turned up in like chapter 1. Also Aliza as well, but Fediel, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her. I also didn't make a video for the last banner because I was busy and just didn't really get a chance to, but honestly, there wasn't much to speak about there. Summer Enyo, kind of bad. I gave her 9.2, which is really low, but my first impressions of her when I saw it was that she was mostly just kind of a selfish attacker, but not a particularly great one. Summer Vasaraga seemed like a pretty cool tank. Like he has like an all ally sub that you can get up pretty often because it refreshes on ougi. So he seemed like a decent defensive character for war. But anyway, yeah, let's go check out the banner. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. Okay, yeah, Summer Fediel in water. Cool. Summer Aliza in wind. Very cool. Dorothy and Claudia, summer in fire. I don't know if they were in the event. Probably not. They weren't in the early chapters that I've read anyway. Summer Yurius in light. Okay, interesting. That's like, I was going to say, that's two characters that have this changing art. And then a summer Cerberus summon. I think that's our first summer summon so far this year. There's also a Scamcha. Oh no. But anyway, let's take a look at the weapons as we usually do. So Fediel Float, Summer Fediel's Harp, which is in water. MC's ougi damage and cap on ougi, and glory. That's okay. A single skill and no FLB, so that's garbage. Aliza's wind sword, tank counter on ougi. Big might, small mystery, no FLB. Whatever. A gun. Bonus echoes to the MC. Medium stamina. Small fandango. Again, no FLB, so whatever. There was a period where summer weapons weren't actually too bad, like stuff like summer Kumburans and stuff, but they seem to just be going back to garbage weapons these days. Medium stamina. Small Salier. No FLB again. It is a spear, but in lights, but whatever. Yeah, so let's take a quick look at Cerberus. Obviously we won't know stuff if stuff changes when she is fully uncapped, but Call is 3 hit fire damage to random foes, jammed effect to fire allies, consumes 25% of current HP. Okay, so an enmity summon. I don't remember. I should know this because I literally play Agni, but I don't think Agni has much in the way of enmity stuff these days. I don't think. It's mostly just Percy swords. And, you know, Rhinefists if you're in a fight you can crit. Aura is boost to fire attack, and sub is dispel cancel effect to fire allies at battle start. That's very nice. That's quite nice. I hope. If these other characters are all good, then I might spark this banner. But anyway, let's just go in order. Let's look at Fediel first, who's now in the water. Her ougi's massive water damage to 84, 1 turn cut to Fediel's skill cooldowns, while the Black's chill is in effect, activates twice. I wonder if she also has a field effect. Or if not a field effect, then a similar kind of 6 dragon skill, where it's like a once castable buff thing. Anyway, skill 1, consume 25% of caster's max HP, shield effect to water allies, the black chills effect. Okay, so that's for this. While the black's chill is in effect, boost the charge bar gain, takes damage every turn, deals bonus damage upon charge attack. Interesting. It's also not permanent, so it is 5 turns. And this is really high. I wonder if she's going to have something to get this down. Skill 2, 800% water damage to a foe, hits multi-attack rate stackable, 20% boost to caster's charge bar, similar to a dark one, but only 1 hit, but the charge bar boost is quite nice. Especially because if this is not permanent and only 5 turns, you probably want her to ougi quite often, just to get the most out of the extra stuff. Skill 3, 4 hit plane damage to random foes based on their current HP. Hit to all foes water defense stackable, remove 1 buff, while the black's chills in effect activates twice. Cool. I would have liked this to have been multi-hit as well, but why? Yeah. Close of Reversal activates the end of turn when the black's chill is in effect. So this is kind of similar to her dark stuff, except it's not a permanent buff. Upon Fediel taking turn-based damage, 10% boost to Fediel's charge bar, supplement the water allies CA damage, stackable. Interesting. Fortunately, we're obviously not going to have numbers for any of this because the banner has literally just started. But she seems possibly decent. I would hope this shield is really chunky, at least 10k, similar to her dark version, because this is a very high cooldown, and she doesn't seem to have... Oh yeah, she could 1 turn cut here, so so even with doing double ougis, that's a 2 turn cut every time she ougis, but she only gets double ougis for 5 turns, so this is probably still going to be pretty high. Not like stupidly high, like 18 turns high, but still, depending on your setup, you're probably still looking at somewhere in the region of like 10 turns, give or take, cooldown for this. Which is a shame. Like it would be very cool. Maybe it would make her too strong, but it would be very cool if this was just a permanent buff, and then you could just recast it for the shield when it comes off cooldown. This might actually, now I think this might actually go down when you level her up. I expect that these probably go down to about 7 turns when you level her up. This might stay at 18 or it might go down to 16. But I just noticed this activates at the end of turn. It's not a normal attack, so if you ougi, you'll still do this, and she gets bonus damage as well. So she gets 2 ougis with bonus damage, and this activating at the end of turn when this skill 1 is up. So she seems pretty decent. Like not a whole lot of like team utility. The shield is nice. This has to be at least 10k. Like that's what her dark versions is 10k. I would be very disappointed if this was less than 10k. These days I would prefer more than 10k because 10k isn't that much considering some of the damage that some fights do these days, but yeah, she seems decent. She seems an ougi character who can just put out a bunch of damage, so you know, if you're playing ougi in war, she seems pretty decent. She has a little bit utility with defense, stackable defense debuffs, and a potential double dispel, which that's pretty nice. Might be handy for Guild War. Don't know, not sure when Water Guild War is likely to turn up again, but she might be pretty decent for that, especially for some of like the let's say mid tier, but probably Nightmare 150 as well, because you you're probably not going to be going for much longer than 5 turns, so you're probably going to be able to just get the most out of this and then not have to worry about it having a bunch of downtime. So yeah, she seems like she's probably pretty good for like longer than 1 turn burst turns, so like 5 turn burst. Yeah, cool. She seems cool. And a nice skin as well if you're using dark. Summer Aliza, who is in wind, hopefully lots of skill damage. Massive wind damage to a foe. Activate Inextinguishable Guard, which is her skill 2. Skill 1 is debuff immunity to caster 1 time. Dispel cancel effect 1 time. Amplify normal attack damage. When heat haze level is 3, affects wind allies. So that's potentially very strong depending on how easy this is to get. Skill 2 boosts to wind allies defense. Armor effect and 40% earth damage cut to all allies. That activates on ougi as well, which is quite nice. So that's, depending on your setup, possibly 100% uptime if you can get her to ougi reasonably often. Skill 3, Undying Effect to caster. Cool. Sharp boost to hostility. 2-hit boost to Beach Blush's number of counter attacks. What is that? Oh, that's her first passive. Can't attack. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So, Beach Blush's low charge bar gain. Full force counter upon taking damage. I don't remember exactly what full force counter means other than lots of damage. 2 hits. So that goes up to 4 if you're using this, and wind damage to a foe upon counter. Ooh, so she gets. So every time you counter, you also get extra damage as well. Cool. Passive 2, raise heat level by 1 at the end of turn after countering. Gain effects in order based on level. Boost attack and defense. Deal multi attacks. Amplify normal attack damage. So that's. But I'll probably stack with this. So assuming sharp boost to hostility makes me assume that that's basically going to make her guaranteed to. Because you have stuff like 6's skill 2, which gives 100% hostility. I don't remember if that's the same sort of wording, so I'm just going to assume that it is, and this basically gives her 100% hostility for 3 turns. Which means you can get this up pretty quickly. By what? Yeah, so turn 4 you can get this up, which means you can get this on the entire team. Not super quickly, but not amazingly slow either, but she seems fun. Like, she seems decent defensive utility, which is nice. Between this and the Dispel Cancel and Veil. Depending on the numbers, stuff like this is usually like, what, 10-15%, but that's still pretty decent. It almost certainly isn't going to stack with Neo, so if you don't have Transcended Neo, she might be a good slot for that, but probably not like super amazing like damage for like more bursty stuff, but she looks fun. Like, counter stuff is usually pretty fun in this game, just to see counters just blast a bunch of counters at the end of a turn, especially since she's getting extra damage every time she counters as well, and it's like 4 counters per hit for turn while this is up, potentially, plus extra damage on all of them. That could be pretty nutty. That could be cool to see. And there are full force counters as well, so they're going to do pretty decent damage. But I don't know if she's good, but she seems fun. I don't think she seems bad. Like, I think she has enough like team utility, just defensive team utility, to not be bad. But whether or not she's super strong remains to be seen. But I think importantly, she looks fun to play while not being super weak. Dorothy and Claudia in Fire. I don't think I have their original version. They're a very old unit in Light. Massive fire damage to a foe. Amplify the Maid's normal attack damage. Dorothy, massive fire damage to foe, delay effect. When Maid Mentum, his level is 3, charge attack changes to Maids. I get the impression that this character works in a way that is not conducive to this page explaining how everything works properly. Okay, so I'm not sure how their original unit works. I don't know if this is similar to this, but they have two different ougis, which seems to depend on which maid is being. Can you? I don't know. I'll read on. So the second ougi is massive fire damage 4 and delay effect. Claudia, massive fire damage 4 amplified and maid's normal attack. Okay, so that's just repeating that one. So okay. I'm just going to make a prediction that the mermaids one is just both of them at once. Skill 1, fire damage to foes, switch Claudia and Dorothy. Okay, so one of them is out at once. End cooldown for other skills, raise maid momentum level by 1, max 3. And then skill 2 and 3 are linked. Bonus fire damage effect to fire allies. Additional effect when maid momentum is 3, boost to critical hit rate and keen. Cool, cool, cool. Ougis are nice. Dorothy, 3 hit fire damage to all foes. Hit to defense. Additional effect when maid momentum is 3, hit to wind attack and multi-attack rate. And skill 3, caster deals triple attacks, additional effect when maid momentum is 3, flurry effect, what is that? Normal attacks deal 3 hit down, okay, so turns it into the Valentine Grimnir passive. Dorothy, 3 hit fire damage to all foes, remove 1 buff. Additional effect is hit to debuff resistance and special attack damage. So far it seems like it's more like, do you want to buff your attack or do you want more kind of utility? Gain effects in order based on maid momentum. Claudia, boost to attack, deal multi-attacks, amplify normal attack damage. Dorothy, boost to defense, boost to charge bar gain and amplify skill damage. Passive 2, Claudia fights at battle start. Backline maid provides the following backup fire after normal attacks. From Dorothy, 2 hit fire damage to all foes, hit to fire defense stackable. From Claudia, fire damage to a foe, 10% boost to the maid's charge bar. There's a lot to unpack here. I wonder if it'd be worth like switching them out often, or if you just want to like pick one that's like a preferred playstyle and then stick to them. Because Claudia seems to mostly be, like I said, buffing your team. Because her ougi gives her amplified normals. It gives skill 2 gives echoes and keen stuff, and then obviously this as well, which depending on the rest of your setup could possibly make her a decent damage dealer for like a one-turn burst sort of thing. And then Dorothy is more about debuffs, like this is a very nice debuff, and then just more general stuff as well. But yeah, there's a lot here. Whether or not they're like super strong or not, I don't know. Like, if you're able to take both of them into account and use it to your advantage, and like switching them up when you need them to, like, this is decently lowish cooldown, so you can switch them up probably pretty often. I mean, it looks like you want to, actually. Yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah, you want to be switching them out often because you want to raise this, which only gets raised when you switch them, because you want to get it to 3 so that you get all the extra effects. But yeah, no idea what this extra charge attack is. Like I said, my assumption apropos of nothing is that it's just both of them, because there's nothing else that seems to suggest what it is, because this game doesn't fucking tell you anything in game. You have to go to wikis and websites like GameWith and stuff to actually figure stuff out. But they seem super interesting. Like, it's obviously these are just first impressions videos I do, and it's like 4:20 in the morning, so I'm recovering from a cold, so I'm not really in a position to be doing super deep dives here, but they seem potentially useful. Like I said, my only real concern is just getting this up in a timely manner, which is going to take a little bit. But otherwise, they might be pretty useful for, like I said, both buffing herself and potentially the rest of the team. Yeah, because this does affect the entire team, which is nice. And then Dorothy has like the more debuff stuff. So yeah, at the very least, they will be usable and probably pretty decent. But whether they're super top tier or not is remains to be seen. I'm not really in a position to judge that. But anyway, lastly, let us look at Yurius in Light, which was weird Tarzan costume here. I don't remember what Albert does in Light. I think he got rebalanced relatively recently. I expect him to maybe have some synergy with him. But massive light damage to a foe, 20% boost to Yurius' charge bar. That's exactly the same as his wind version. Hit to all foes, attack and debuff stackable, random debuff. That's exactly the same as his wind version. Let's see. Debuffs I think are the same. I don't remember if his wind version had this. I don't remember, but basically the same as his wind version. 6 hit light damage to all foes, restore light allies HP, remove 1 debuff. Based on highest debuff count among all foes, hit number increases. Max 10 hits, okay. So if you're more debuffed, then you get more hits. That's cool. Interesting. Anyway, skill 3, light damage to a foe. Remove 1 buff. Activates twice when the foe has 10 or more debuffs. Activate Tentacle Rush at the end of turn if the party landed 5 or more. Oh, I just know. For some reason I was thinking this was debuffs on your allies. It's not. It's debuffs on the foes. That's much more manageable. So yeah, activate this at the end of turn if the party landed 5 or more debuffs on the current target that turn. Which he can do probably pretty easily because he's... Assuming none of them whiff, he's going to be getting 3 every time he casts this, so... Cast this twice on a turn and you get this all activated. Assuming that doesn't have to be like a unique debuff and refreshes just count. I would assume that would be the case. Boosts skill damage cap based on number of foes debuff. I think that's... Honestly, this is very similar to his wind version. I mean, these are not quite the same, but this wind version has this. And obviously this as well. This is that the same. But yeah, this is just basically just Yurius in Light. Which is potentially useful, but I don't know if he's going to be like super like Yurius was considered like a very strong, like super useful to have wind unit for a long time just because of the debuffs and utility that he could provide. He doesn't have... I mean, he has a Dispel, which I think his wind version has as well, but his wind version also has a fancy delay as well, which he doesn't seem to have here. But it's mostly just Yurius in Light, so that's cool. But yeah, this looks like a pretty decent banner if you want any of these characters. See if anyone else is on rate up. Grand Naru is also on rate up apparently. Interesting. I'm inclined to maybe spark this banner. I'm gonna wait see what the general impression of these units are. Like Fediel seems pretty probably not 10 out of 10 like our dark version, but still pretty strong if you're playing ougi in water, especially for shortish fights. Aliza seems fun, potentially pretty strong, depending on how it shakes up, how her damage output is. The maids are too complicated for me to comprehend at the moment, but they seem like they're pretty good. And then we have just Yurius, but again in light, and I don't know, like, I don't think Wind Yurius sees a whole lot of use these days. So maybe Light Yurius probably isn't either, but who can say? But anyway, yeah, that's that. Thank you for watching. And until next time, in a couple of weeks, hopefully my voice will be a bit less strained. But yeah, I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye bye.